So you talked about the focus on counterattacks and had a lot of success, particularly against Berhalter.
Can you repeat that question?
You talked about the Columbus tactics and had a lot of success. Down three in the back.
I still haven't heard you complete.
Can you talk about the crew counterattack?
Okay. Well, I thought Higuain had a very good game tonight. His passing was good. Their movement was good. I think the first half they clearly outplayed us. And just on the night, I thought their passing and obviously finishing. There were a bunch of goals for us tonight that we failed on. Our passing on the night was poor. Our finishing was poor. We had opportunities to do a better job getting around the ball and didn't do it. So a lot of the basics we got beat on tonight. And give them credit.
Chelsea kept up the scoring streak.
Yeah, we're gonna have a party when we get back to the hotel. We're so elated. Give him credit. It was a good goal, certainly. Might have had another one too.
Gregg mentioned this week that when as a player, you approached him about possibly becoming a head coach. What did you see in him? What was it like coaching against him? How did you see him?
Well, he did a great job tonight, and he's got a great future in the coaching profession.
Adam?
They made a lot tonight of honoring Landon. I just wondered what you thought of all the pregame festivities and another team honoring one of your players like that.
I think it's very nice. I think Landon's had a great career, and to be recognized in these markets we go into is tremendous. Hopefully, the results don't all end up like they did tonight, but it was a tremendous gesture on behalf of the crew, and we're very grateful for that.
Is that distracting for the LA Galaxy to go through those every time that you go to?
Well, I don't know if this is going to be happening every time, and it certainly looked distracting tonight. I would blame the entire game on the pregame ceremony.
Go ahead.
What did you think of Steve Clark's performance and goal for sure?
He played well. I don't know if he made some big saves. He played very well. I think our finishing was pretty poor. I remember 2 or 3 good saves on Robbie. But I think on the night we were pretty poor at our finishing, and to his credit, the goal he conceded was obviously a very good finish by Giassi. On the night, he was pretty solid. Had a good game.
Go ahead. Last question.
Is this the team you expected to play tonight in the crew, or did you see something out of that tonight that you didn't expect? Did they play above what you?
Well, I think they're better commenting on it than I am, but they probably played their best game of the year, and they played very well. So you got to give them a lot of credit. We knew it would be a good game. In fact, I kind of liked the game that I saw. I thought it was a game that was perfectly suited for our team, but we came up short.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bruce.
Please take out one.
The only one yet?
There's more. I can get it for you. No problem. Guys, next up should be Landon Donovan, followed by Gregg Berhalter. While waiting on our guys, anybody other than usual suspects want to speak to? Merrim, Finley, Spies, C. Clark. Will those 4 get it done for the most part? Any other special requests there? Okay, thanks. Be right back. That's the first. There it goes, it goes.
Hey guys. The Galaxy forward, Landon Donovan, following the Galaxy's 4-1 defeat of the Columbus Crew. We'll just jump straight into questions. Go ahead, Adam.
Can you just talk about this result, the worst mark of the season, and lost regular season game?
Well, there was two things. I think one, I think they just outcompeted us. For whatever reason, they wanted it more. And then two, the finishing was a difference. Chances were probably pretty similar both ways, and they scored some goals, they may not score again this year. And so, and on the other side, we didn't finish our chances well enough. So that was sort of the storyline.
Before the game, we obviously had a ceremony for you and banners and things like that. I just wonder what that was like for you to stay where you have some memories to go through that before the game started.
It was incredible. I don't know how many of you were here when the stadium was first built, but this became the home of soccer for many, many years, being the first soccer-specific stadium. So I have memories here with the under-17 national team, many games with the national team, many games with the Earthquakes and the Galaxy here against the Crew, and I can't imagine there's another stadium I've played in more throughout the league, and a lot of very, very good memories here. So I was very appreciative of them doing that. They certainly didn't have to, and I give them a lot of credit and a lot of respect to Gregg and the whole Crew organization.
Bruce said he seemed out a lot of the basics wrong. Can you talk about what you think that might be, how this team might deal
Well, as a starting point, we have to compete better. If you don't compete in this league, you don't give yourself a great chance to win. And secondly, I think we didn't do a good job figuring out the way they were playing and giving ourselves a chance to get around the ball and put them under pressure. We did it for a stretch of the beginning of the second half where we did a better job, but we couldn't sustain it, and that ended up being the difference. When you give a player like Higuain that kind of time, he's going to punish you.
Is this a teachable moment for this team, especially at this point of the season?
Well, we're experienced enough where we should know better, and we should be able to figure it out faster. I think everybody can do a better job in how we played, how we prepared. Everything we did needed to be better, and I don't think we did a good enough job of that, and give them a lot of credit. They played well, and they executed what they wanted to execute, and they deserve to win.
What was it like going up against Michael Parker today?
I think he's been terrific here, and I think it was a great pickup by Gregg. I know he loves it here. I spoke to him a lot during national team camp, and he's really enjoyed it here. So very happy for him. I think him and Giancarlo have done a great job together back there. They very composed. They defend well. Obviously, they're good on set pieces. They pass well. So I think they're a very good duo back there, and they played really well tonight.
Last question. Berhalter, somebody that you played with and then had as a player assistant coach out in LA. What was it like going up against him for the first time as a head coach? How do you think he's done so far in his time with the Crew?
I think he's done an excellent job. He's made this team a team that's fun to watch, entertaining. I thought the way they played was very good tonight. And, historically, this is a hard-working town, and that's the way their team plays, and Gregg certainly has that, but he's also implemented a style that's attractive and fun to watch. And I think he's done an excellent job. He did well tonight, and we wish him the best going forward. We certainly want him to do well.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Landon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Landon. Guys, usual drill, just raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question first time through, then we'll go back to follow-ups. Adam?
So, Greg, last week we were talking about accountability and subpar performances, 4 goals tonight, probably the most dominating game all season. What was different tonight?
Well, I think guys realize that, you know, it's time to perform. And obviously Galaxy is a team that it's easy to get up for because of the quality they have. But the guys were hungry today. I mean, going through it quickly, you know, I don't think there's anyone that had a subpar performance, and that's including the substitutes. So it was a good team effort tonight.
Andrew King.
Bruce, we just talked to Bruce, and Bruce said, you know, without judging you guys too much, that was maybe the best game you guys have played all season. Do you agree? Was that the best we've seen from you this season?
I think the first half was pretty good. The second half was, it wasn't great, but I think it was okay. So I think that's hard to tell. I think we've had other good performances throughout this year, but certainly the first half was very strong.
Ryan.
Stylistically, you talked a lot about playing attractive soccer, and I wonder, is that exactly what you had in mind out there today?
I think so. I mean, I think when you look at the first half, our ball movement and how we're, you know, we weren't scared to play and we were daring to play against a team like the Galaxy. It shows a lot. It shows a lot about what we've been working on, and that the guys believe in it, and that they want to go out there and execute it. So I was really proud of that. The fact that, listen, we're getting pressured, we're still going to try to play it. We're going to keep playing, and that was good. Second half was, to me, it was more of an exercise about counterattacking. And you saw, I mean, we had guys running in the counterattack. And, you know, they switched to 3 in the back when Robbie Rogers went out, and, you know, it hurt them. There was a lot of open space. And when you have a guy like Ethan Finley, you know, Aaron Schoenfeld, and Ben Spies, it's dangerous in the counter.
In Andy's introduction, you guys talked about how good business and good soccer, you know, feed off of each other. I mean, tonight, is this the blueprint? I mean, the sellout crowd, is this what you guys are?
It is. I mean, that's what we're looking for every single week. I mean, we want to have, you know, a hot ticket. We want to have a game that, you know, the fans want to come to, and that they're proud of a team from Columbus, and that they're proud of their team. And, you know, we're working hard for that. And I think that, you know, it starts, at least from our side, it starts with the type of soccer we play. And, you know, I talk to a lot of people and, you know, a lot of fans, and, you know, they're enthusiastic about it. And they say it's, you know, it's identifiable, and they like it. So we're pleased with that. We were not always going to get results like tonight, but we're pleased with that. We just kept, you know, keep pushing forward and keep doing the same thing.
Dan Carroll.
Yeah, obviously, what you mentioned, counterattacking was really, and him being, how much credit do you give for this performance to Steve Clark? He kept out a lot of shots as well.
He did well. I mean, he does that all year. I say that every week, right? I mean, credit their keeper, though, as well. Their keeper came up with some good big saves. And, you know, the post helped them a couple times, and, you know, cleared off the line, a corner kick. So, I mean, it was a back-and-forth game, but it was the type of soccer game that I bet the fans appreciated. When you have two teams just going after and trying to play, I mean, there was 11 fouls called in the whole game. You know, it wasn't an aggressive game where we're just trying to, you know, foul each other and stop play. Both teams wanted to play, and I think, you know, you credit the guys in the field for doing that.
Patrick Bowman.
You talked a little bit about the second half, you know, being exercising counterattack. But you also talked about the response that the team had going into the game and getting up to the Galaxy. Going in with a 2-goal lead and coming out in the second half and giving up a goal. How do you gauge the response of the team to hold fast and then, put 4 goals on the Galaxy, and they hadn't even had 3 on them all year?
Yeah. No, that was good. That part of it was good. Obviously, I'm disappointed. If there's any disappointment, it's coming out of the locker room at halftime and giving up a goal within 5 minutes. The key for them to get back in the game is those first 15 minutes. They have to score, and they did. And I think we need a better response in that phase of the game. But when you saw our reaction after that, that was really good in terms of the team, the lines. The defensive shape we had in the second, in the last 25 minutes of the game was outstanding. They couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't find openings. If you look, they resorted to playing direct, and they have the best players in the league, and they're kicking long balls. So I think that was good, a good response from the group.
Ashley.
Greg, we've seen moments this season where you have amazing, very solid performances like tonight, and then there's moments like last Saturday against Toronto, where you have those sort of 2 extremes as far as the teams that are on the field for the crew. Is it just a matter of first year and figuring things out?
Well, I think it's patience. If you look at our roster, we have the youngest roster in the league. So the guys are getting used to it. They're finding their way, and they're learning how to get consistency, and that's the hardest thing in professional sports, is to be consistently good. So, we're working on that, and I think, part of it is getting the guys to believe in themselves, and believe that they can do it week in and week out.
Nino.
This is the second week in a row that you talking about the possession. But this time, tonight, it seems like you get...
Last week is controversial, though. I got to say that. Because the feed was out for 20 minutes, and that's how they calculated the stats. So that one,
Okay.
But this week, this is the biggest possession differential of the year so far. But again, Galaxy has the most quality. If you look at them player for player, no team is better than them in the league. So it was, in the first half was really, really close in terms of possession. So, I don't know what you're going to ask, but I'm going to say that,
Okay, all right.
we still have to,
Clarify.
yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, okay. Now the point was that tonight it seems like you get to the other end with less passes and more speed than with previous games. Is that something that you're gonna work towards for the
Well,
rest of the tournament?
we've been
Get
doing,
faster?
we've been doing that in the last couple weeks. We've been more aggressive going forward, if you look at the statistics in the last couple weeks. And, part of it is by design, and part of it is by the personnel. Ethan Finley is a guy, you saw the performance today. He keeps going. He doesn't stop. He's a constant threat to get behind the back line. So guys naturally look for him. And then you have the quick transition. The second half, I think, it's a game where out of necessity, you turn towards the counterattack because they had the ball and because we were patient and we kept our shape, that spaces opened up that you can't resist. So I think that was good, but our game is still about possession and quick possession and quick ball movement.
Ben, Fareed, Pat Murphy, and Luis, do you want one still in the back? And then we'll go back for follows. Go ahead, Ben.
What does it mean for this team, not just to get a 4-1 win, but to get it against a team like the Galaxy, a team that's the most title cup contender, as opposed to maybe somebody behind them in the standings?
Well, I think it's good for the confidence of the group, but I would much rather have had that victory against an Eastern Conference team. That's where you really create separation in the standings. So it's big, but we have to stay grounded. We have 10 games left, and it's almost like every game's a playoff game because it's a lot of Eastern Conference teams, and the table's tight. So it's going to be interesting. I think this is a great opening game for these last 10 games.
You talked about the importance of getting those outside midfielders involved in the attack. Statistically, having them scoring, assisting, you got both of those things tonight. What was different? What worked tonight that maybe hasn't worked as successfully as it did previously?
Well, I think our outside midfielders have been producing, right? Look at Ethan Finley.
Right.
You know, look at Hector, you know, getting to good opportunities with the goals and assists. Justin, this isn't his first goal.
Right.
So, you know, I think the way we play is going to give them chances, and now it's about them finishing them off and you know, being calm enough in front of goal to finish it.
Luis.
How important is for somebody like Speeds to come over and score right away when he gets the chance to get in the field and do something for him?
You know, it's big for him because, to be honest, he was a guy that I wasn't really displeased with his performance last week. But, you know, Justin had a great week of training, and just, you know, we went with Justin, but it was a really close decision. So, you know, we went over video. We analyzed the game with Ben, and I think for him, it's a great way to make an impact, and I'm happy for him.
So a few follow-ups. Andrew K, I believe you first saw that one.
Yeah, last week you said, you know, it was a case of 4 or 5 guys having subpar performances. Was this week a case of, you know, maybe the same number of guys having, you know, above average performances?
You could say that, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure. I think a lot of guys had above average performances, but I think when you talk about individual performance, each guy has a level inside of him, and we want them to reach that level every game. And you know, last week was a question of, you know, too many guys didn't reach their level. So today, I think a lot of guys did, and when we play like that, and when they do reach their levels, you have a team that can perform.
So do you think that this can be more of a baseline, or is this an anomaly in the same way that last week was an anomaly, and that it's better than maybe you can expect?
No, I would hope so, but again, I would add that the Galaxy's a team that, you know, they want to play as well. So it's right up our alley, teams like that. I mean, if you look at Seattle, when we went to Seattle, we had a great game, and it was an attractive soccer game. Teams that want to play, we tend to play better against. And what we need to do is sharpen the movements and the accuracy against teams that are going to drop back and play a little more compact.
Last couple. Pat, Gold, you still have one. Go ahead, and then Pat.
You talked a little bit about playing a little bit more, not necessarily direct, but quicker and more, you know, focused on getting the ball upfield. Talk a little bit about the role maybe your central midfielders have in that. You know, of course, Will Trapp is well skilled at changing the point of attack, but Tony Chani seems to be really kind of pushing forward a lot more than maybe he has in past weeks.
And, you know, they played a great game today, and their role is to move the ball as quickly as possible, and to keep it, you know, keep positive possession. And I think they both did that today. You know, we've been going over video with Will about just looking forward to play forward. There's pockets where that Federico is, and Justin and Ethan, and we want him to find those pockets. You know, Tony, the same thing. When he keeps the ball moving fast and accurately, he's one of the better midfielders in the league in terms of the whole package defensively, ball security, and then simple passing. So I think he had a great game today, and that's what we expect out of him.
Next question, Pat Murphy.
Just going up against Berhalter, you talked about this week of training. It was going to be a neat thing for you to do. You know, he talked here about you as an up-and-coming coach. What was it like for you? I know you guys talked pregame and stuff like that. What was it like for you to get to kind of match wits with him and come out on top?
It was great. You know, it was special. I mean, Bruce is someone that, you know, I've had a close relationship for a long time, and I think, you know, really highly of. You know, he's the best coach in the league, as far as I'm concerned. And it was, you know, it was not only him, but the guys that I've played with. You know, you know, collectively, it was a special night for us, and you know, I'm glad to come out on top.
Thanks, guys.